Assalamu alaikum. So, I'd like to say about the constitutional program which has been changed after 5th August. We know that constitution is a piece of mark where every people or every human being is really dependent to follow the rational philosophy of the common people. But yeah, the thing is that in our common sense, in our common practice, sometimes we definitely forget the practice of constitution, and the leaders, the teachers, even most of the philosophers, sometimes they forgot that we have to follow the rules, regulations of constitution. Apart from this, constitution is a piece of mark where you can get everything, whatever you need for making a very good dimensional way to follow the rule of law, rule of practice in Bangladesh. In our Bangladeshi constitution, 1972's constitution, it is the finest constitution ever I know. We have been faced some of the problems after 1972 when the constitution inaugurated by the Dr. Kamal Hossain, and I still believe that this constitution is the finest constitution in Bangladesh. Having lots of problems, having some believe problems in the constitution, still I believe that this constitution will direct the Bangladesh to maintain a very good philosophical identity of the constitution. According to Article 36, every people has freedom of movement, but this movement is not constructive. There are some of the restrictions. For example, if a people would like to travel the house of the president or house of the parliament member, they are not allowed to do so. This is the constructive reasonableness of our constitution. Here we know that fundamental rights must get the preference, but most of the times it will not get the proper syndicate or proper measures to make a very good fundamental way of constitution. We had been functioning the constitutional way from the South Asian perspective or the South African perspective. If we make a very good relationship between the South Asian perspective and the South African philosophy, we will get that South African philosophy, they will get the higher marks than ourselves. What is the reason behind that? Because they are more flexible to produce their pronouncement of judgment, pronouncement of philosophical identity on the basis of African society. But if you practice these types of practice in Bangladesh, you can't move forward because we have some cultural demarcation and cultural liability. And for this reason, actually, it is not possible for the human being, not the human being, but also the leaders who will come in future. They have no identity to make a very good constitution for the future. Though we can recommend something, but it is totally depend how the civilized people, how the people of Bangladesh, they will accept the criteria of functioning constitution in the future or not. In the previous time, it is saying that if we see the British Parliament, there is no kind of written constitution. This is unwritten constitution. But in Bangladeshi practice, this is written constitution. In written constitution, it is actually the rigid constitution. So it's not possible for the constitutional makers to transfer the legal norms, philosophy, even the fundamental jurisprudence of constitution for the day being. So it's the long procedure to recommend to reform the constitutional practice in Bangladesh. And I'm pretty sure the political leaders or the people who would like to establish the government in future, they have no identity to make a vandalized way to making a very good constitutional measures in Bangladesh. Throughout the policies after 5th August, we have seen that there are lots of reformation, but most of the political parties, they made their articulation against the reformation. Because, for example, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, they have a specific recommendation. Jamaat Islam, they have a specific recommendation. Awami League, they have a specific recommendation about their philosophy. Apart from this, constitution has a smart philosophy for the development of the humankind in Bangladesh. So how you can demarcate the philosophy of Bangladesh instead of following the philosophy of any particular party? So this is my question. Actually, it is a philosophical topic as well as it is a never-ending topic. Having problem, having some distributive measures in constitutional term, my way is that I have a strong saying. Yes, definitely it is possible if it proceed the constitutional aspect for the future days. but how I can pronounce the judgment, how I can produce a very good judgment on following the judicial review of Bangladeshi practice according to Article 102 of Bangladesh Constitution. Here is doctrine of subordination. The higher court's judgment, higher court rules is definitely binded for the lower court. So this is the actual factor of constitutional fraction in Bangladesh. So apart from this actually is not possible for the Bangladeshi practice and Bangladeshi people to maintain a very good constitutional measures throughout the process. And that's why resulted in there will be a vacuum of constitution among the stakeholders of Bangladesh. So this is not my point of view. My point of view is that the greatest happiness for the development of the greatest people. I think for this region, democracy is the basic source to establish the constitutional philosophy in Bangladesh. Otherwise, the question can be arise, who is the flag bearer of the constitutional philosophy in Bangladesh? The principle definitely goes to the stakeholders actually. Dr. Ali Riaz, who is not the figures from the academic background is constitution, but Dr. Ikramul sir, who is the constitutional expert, and many more professors who has enough knowledge about the constitution. So I think that in this perspective, Dr. Ikramul Haq sir can be the biggest source of the expression of the constitution, because he has smart knowledge about the constitutional view to make us proud following the constitutional mandate of 1972's constitution, and after the amendment of the